great.
So, go ahead and introduce yourself and your instrument.
Are we recording? Am I on?
You're on.
Okay, my name is Trini Spirit. I made a 3-string chordophone, I suppose. A couple issues that I ran into were I didn't make the neck quite wide enough for all 3 strings, so the strings are kind of sliding off to the side, so I had to cut divots in the bridges that I made.
Okay.
And another issue that I had is my magnet for my pickup ended up not being strong enough, so it doesn't work all that well. And just the 12-note scale?
Sure.
Okay, let's do the 12-note scale. I should use the next one. I can get it. Those are 2 notes.
Okay. Good. And we're going to amplify when it comes time?
Well, yeah, we'll just mic it up.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm Chris Wade. This is my instrument. It's a PVC flute. It is an aerophone. We have PVC pipes and cap. Issues I've had with it are I messed up the first time I made one. Finger hole placement didn't really make any sound. And now, since I've started playing it and this one works, is the mouth hole. I don't think it's wide enough. So, but here's my attempt at a 12-note scale. See what I mean? Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah.
All right.
Hi, my name is Yolanda. As everyone knows, I had membrano phone. I had 2. This one kept collapsing on me. Every time I put tape on it, it just caved in on the side. So I didn't know what was going on with that. Thank you so much, sweetie. And back to me. Okay. When I was trying to do this one, as far as putting the tape on it, it wasn't giving me that. So I went to Hobby Lobby and I bought some scrap leather. And I glued it on here last night and I came up with this. Ready?
Yes.
Okay, that's that one.
Okay.
And with this one, it's called a snare drum, the sound of it, I believe. And even though it was collapsing and everything, it still sounded okay.
Okay.
You ready?
Yeah. Okay. Good. Thanks.
Hello, my name is Linnell, and this is a chordophone, and I got the idea from a cigar box guitar that I've seen on Google. So I use plastic ties as the frets, and here is the 12-note scale.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Alright, so I'm Brittany. I did a little PVC pipe keyboard. I originally was going to do the PVC piping where you hit on the top, wasn't working. And then with this one, the only issue I had was getting it to sound. Obviously, I had to put a little bit more elevation so it would make a little more sound. But it sounds like... There you go.
Thank you.
My name is Laura, and I'm not really sure if it's an aerophone or membranophone because there is like a membrane here.
Right.
So the problems I had was figuring out why these don't work down here and how to play 12 notes when I only have 10 fingers.
Yeah.
So that was another issue. But so this is, these ones up here work, they just sound better, but here you go. And the pitch, I have this comes all the way out, and it sounds best when it's right up against, you know, pretty much right up against that membrane. And I put the tape so there's not air escaping right there.
Okay. Yeah, so I think it's a membrano phone.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay, my name's Blaze Dalval. I made, for your listening pleasure, a hammer dulcimer. I guess this would be a quarterphone, and let me see. The biggest issue I had with this was actually when I was trying to tune the thing. I knew that the strings had to be taut, very tight, so I accidentally started tuning it an octave too high. Down here in my lower treble strings, I had, started breaking. So then I started tuning the thing from up here. It's about as tight as the thing's gonna get, and then I tune it all the way down from here. It actually has quite a good deal of notes on it. And normally, this is tuned for like, a folky sound or whatever, but I changed my C sharp. These right here would normally be an F sharp and a C sharp, but I tuned it down to an F and a C so we could play our song. I don't know, I think that's really the only issue that I had with this thing. It behaved very nicely. As far as my notes go, I have there's some repeats in here for ease of play. There we are.
Okay, good, thank you.
My name's TJ Hartnett. This is a PVC pipe xylophone, and it's an aerophone, I believe. Some issues I had are cutting these. I could have cut them better, like some are crooked. I tried sanding them down as best as I could, but it makes it kind of harder to hit on some of them. Another issue is my high ones. I don't know why I'm not getting any sound out of there, and I had 12 notes.
Okay, good, thanks.
Okay.
Alright, my name's Luke Peterson. This is my drum kit. It's a membranophone. And some issues I had were trying to be able to make the heads on it. I didn't know what to do with this. You can't tune the heads. It's just there.
And that's just packing tape, yeah, okay.
And that's basically it. I had a few holes, but I just patched them over with the tape. And that's about it. And I'll give you a sample.
Okay, thank you. Okay.
Mine's over here. So I made a PVC pipe xylophone. I had a lot of issues with this. The main issue, I guess, would be the glue to keep it together. I ended up using 3 different types. So I've actually put this together like 4 different times. I also originally started with bigger pipes, but the pipe cutter that I had was like this much too small. So I switched, and that means I had to redo all my calculations, all of that, and I tried to make my own paddles with the spray undercoating for cars, but I think I either didn't let them dry enough or put it on too thick because they're still wet and it's been like a week. So, and my stand's not too sturdy, but I'm a girl, I don't build stuff that well. But it sounds pretty good except for my A. My A is a G. I don't know how that happened. I did have a little bit of issues cutting some of them straight, so that could be, part of the problem with A. But here's the scale.
Good, thank you. Okay.
Go, Wendy. I made a frisbee harp, and my name's Wendy Omer, and it's a portaphone. The part that I had a hard time were getting the strings. You had to tune it like every couple hours because the strings were stretchy, and then to get the frisbee from collapsing on itself. So I put the pot behind it, and those were really the only issues. So.
Okay, thanks.
Katie Tonin, I have a portaphone. It was supposed to be a coffee can banjo, but it's really a 3-string guitar. I was following directions for a coffee can banjo, yet those are very hard to find, metal coffee cans. So I kind of used a plastic container, like I saw someone used a bleach container, they cut the bottom off of it, and that seemed to work. So I kind of melded those two together, and then, I don't know, it's just kind of my own creation now. But I can play 12 notes. Actually, I can play 36 notes.
Okay.
But they don't all show up on Audacity like they sound.
Okay.
So, like, these 3 frets all show up as D4, but they're really, they all sound different. But
Okay.
they all show up on Audacity as the same note. But I can play, oops, that's actually this one.
Okay, good, thanks.
Oh, and I put all my frets in the wrong place the first time.
Okay.
Jessica Castaneda. This is my aerophone, PVC flute. The problems I had with it, these 2 notes are not what they should be on Audacity. But I did all my calculations, so that's what it told me to put them at. And another problem I have with it, every time I blow in here, I have to have it a certain way in order for it to work, and sometimes it doesn't. And when I'm moving my fingers like towards the middle of it, it doesn't sound like it anymore. Let's see if it works.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, my name's Sarah, and I built a xylophone. It's an aerophone. The issue I had was I had to build it one-handed. It was kind of hard, but this is skill.
And you had to build it with a hand that's not your primary hand.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, my name's Mitch. I built Quarterphone. It's a 3-string guitar. Issue I had with it, I was basing it off the one that was in our textbook, but I ran into all kinds of problems. First, I used nylon strings, and the book called for it to be stretched 1 meter, and when you do that, you get almost no notes out of the string, and when you tighten it enough to get a note, the strings will break as soon as you try and fret them at all. And so I had to throw out that idea and just kind of modified it into using guitar strings so that we can get some decent sound. And here's a 12-note scale, one of the many.
Okay, thank you.
Hi, I'm Natalie. I did an aerophone. It was my impression of a flute. All of the measurements and stuff are correct, but I had the same problem over there. It's the way I blow into it. And at first I thought it was how I put the stopper on. So I retaped it, and it's not. It's just how I play, because I'm not a musician. But here is my scale.
Thank you.
Hi, my name is Chris, and I made a Quarterphone. It's supposed to be a 4-string guitar. Some problems I had with it is I used the eye screws as a tuner, and you always keep on going loose, so you have to tighten them before you start playing them. That's why I kind of made symbols, but we had to tighten them. Also, I didn't put any strings that are like very tonic with each other, so A, G, B, A. G and B is good, but I need something rather than A. And the word's kind of starting to bend a little bit.
Okay.
But I'll play the 12-note scales.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Hi, I'm Brittany, and this is a thumb piano. It's an idiophone, and the problems I had with it are many. First of all, I couldn't get the boards cut straight. I kept cutting them like really crooked, and I tried to fix it with glue, and it didn't work. And another thing is it's not very loud. And then I was having problems with the tines, I couldn't get the right length for my calculations were like all screwed up, so messed up. But here's the scale that I have. So.
Okay, thank you.
I'm Daniel. I made a membranophone. I kept it really simple. Just a paint bucket and some packing tape. The problems I had is you can't really tune it, so it's just as is, but it sounds pretty good. Just to keep the beat for the band. So.
Okay.
That's it.
Hey, my name is Paul DeFrancis. Let me see some of the problems. Oh, start with this. It's an idiophone, or in my case, an idiot phone. Some of the problems I had when I initially built this was the original design, but because I used bungees, there was a huge sag, and every time you strike one of the notes, it would vibrate to the point you couldn't play the next note. So I ended up scrapping this and building like a wooden frame with some grooves in it, but that didn't allow the pipes to vibrate enough to even have a good note. Some of the other stuff was I bought two different pipes, one at one store and one at another, and they actually produce different notes. So I have one note that's, or one pipe that's a little bit shorter than the other, but the longer one makes a higher note, which is odd. So anyway, 12 notes. For good measure.
All right, thank you.
Hi, my name is Yash. I built a membranophone. Basically, I took a tin can and covered with an electrical tape. And like initially, it was sounding all the same. Then I crisscrossed the duct tape, so like it's like harder in the center, and it sounds different here. And then I later thought I could do this.
Okay. All right. And spokesperson.
I'm just kidding. I'll speak. I don't know.
So go ahead and give us your band name and if there's any story or meaning to the name, and then what song you're going to play, and then go ahead and play.
Well, our band name is Avengers. I'm obsessed with Marvel Comics beyond belief. My dad was, so I decided we were going to be the Avengers. They didn't have much say, and I liked the movie. It's really good. So we're playing Iron Man from the movie. I looked up other songs from Avengers, and they're all like disgustingly difficult, so we're gonna stick with Iron Man. And here's our song.
Well, wait, I'm having trouble. Oh, but you heard it work just a minute ago.
I did.
No, it's not working.
Is the membrane still intact?
Yeah, it's still good. Sorry. Yeah, I don't know why it's not working. You want to get someone else and you come back to us? The second one.
There we go.
It's just like different. I'm gonna probably pass out.
Okay. You won't be the first rocker to ever do that during a performance.
Yeah, it's here. Okay. Oh wait, sorry. So you got it. Yeah, and it's something's different. But you heard it.
I did.
Work.
Okay.
everybody might want to plug their ears just in case because having a great time. Okay, we're safe.
Okay, so band name and if there's any kind of story or meaning behind that, and then the song name.
Okay, so our band is called the Homemade Disasters because our instruments are homemade and this is going to be a disaster. Well, we don't really have a story behind our band. We kind of just decided this is our table set. And we sat there deliberating what songs we wanted to play for basically our entire first practice. And we couldn't think of a song that was simple enough for all three of us to play, and we ended up deciding to play Crazy Train by Ozzy. So,
okay.
Yeah. I'm not ready. Let's see if we can not break anything today. Okay. Yep. So, and then just for our cool other pieces. Yeah, we'll just.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so tell me about the band.
Okay, so we are Good Vibrations. So a physics group, and so I decided Good Vibrations would be an appropriate name since it's Good Vibration. So we are going to be playing the Imperial March, first part of it. So a lot of people call it Darth Vader's theme song.
Okay.
So yeah.
All right, so let's hear it from the Ultras. Go ahead and introduce your band, band name, where it comes from, song.
We're the Ultras because we're all aspiring ultrasonographers. We are playing Heart and Soul. That's our attempt anyway. Our
Okay.
first band practice consisted of finding a song that we could all attempt.
Uh-huh.
And it didn't go well. None of us are very musically inclined.
Okay.
I think we can start now. All of us? You'll go first?
Okay. Okay, let's hear.
All right, so we are the 1%ers, and we are going to play a little tune that's probably familiar to most of you. It's called Row, Row, Row Your Boat. Solo. What you got? She really is playing.
All right.
Yeah, we're the BLTs. The name kind of came to me last minute while I was running up there trying to come up with something. I'm like, okay, B, Blaze, L, Luke, T, TJ. It just came naturally. So we're going to be playing Lost Woods from Zelda. If any of you guys know that, please tell me some of you do.
I know Zelda, I don't know how.
Okay, well that's something at least. So alright, well, if any of you played, the song may come to you halfway through. I do hope so. So, alright, not any further ado.